What would you expect from a publication like this?
From a fanzine, I'd expect good quality, well-written articles that not only give me information on the club and issues surrounding the club that I might find interesting, but maybe ones that challenge the official club line and provide an independent voice which comes from the fans rather than from the club itself.
What would attract you to buy it?
Good quality design and layout would probably be the first things I would notice, which might make the magazine stand out on the newsstand and maybe look different from its competitors. After that, I'd be looking for the quality of the content inside. I'd be looking for stories that I couldn't find elsewhere. I couldn't just locate on the internet. Stories that are exclusive to the magazine, and I'd be looking for features that really sort of that got me interested and made us want to read more.
How much would you want to pay for the magazine?
I think I'd probably be willing to pay a fair amount, because I think as a buyer I'd be aware that the publication there's probably a lot of passion goes into it, and it probably doesn't have a huge budget, so I wouldn't mind paying probably I would say minimum of £3, not necessarily to reflect the quality of the magazine, but to reflect the fact that it's a fanzine and it's probably made on a small budget, so the price is probably going to be important to keep the magazine afloat and make sure that the people who are contributing to it get some kind of money for their endeavours. I wouldn't want to pay upwards of £5, so I think somewhere between £3 and £5.
What sort of article format would you like to see? Like an interview, a Q&A sort of style, or anything else?
Well, I'd expect a range of different features and styles from a magazine like this. I'd expect some good in-depth features to make up quite a large proportion. But then with a fanzine, you want snappy content that's really going to sort of get your interest, and you can breeze through while you make your way to the bigger features. So yeah, Q&As are good. Maybe some sort of factoids, that kind of thing, little snippets that are gonna keep your interest.
Would you prefer to see lots of images in this magazine, or not too many?
I would probably. I'd expect images to serve the purpose and to illustrate the features and to make the magazine sort of dynamic and interesting to look at. But I wouldn't want to just a magazine full of images, because with a magazine like this, I think what you're looking for is good content. You want to gain knowledge from it and not just kind of look at something that's pretty. So I'd expect just a standard amount of pictures, probably a little bit less than you would expect from a higher budget magazine off the shelf. I'd expect it to be more based around text and content.
What sort of length of article would you be looking at within this magazine? Like a relatively short article or a long and in-depth one?
Well, again, I think you'd want both. From the features, I'd really want something quite meaty to get stuck into. Maybe 600 to 1,000 words, or maybe even more for the bigger features that the magazine has to offer. But then from the smaller features and the kind of smaller brackets of content that are gonna hold your interest and give you more sort of for your money. Some of those you'd expect to maybe be 50 to 100 words. So really a mixture of bigger articles and shorter.
And lastly, what would you want to see on the front cover of the magazine?
On the front cover, going back to what was said earlier about what would attract you to it, I think you need this is where design's very important, because if you haven't got a good cover, you know, you're not going to get the attention of your potential buyers. So I'd expect just good imagery, good quality photography, good layout, good use of typefaces, something that's gonna make us interested through the image or the images that are used, and then give us a brief of what's going to be in there, and do it in an exciting way where the copy's sort of, you know, bouncy and you know, colour schemes. Just a good quality magazine. The cover's very important, so I'd expect all of that.